Welcome in to another new AMP podcast. My name is Ben Dubose, news editor with the AMP Publications team, where I work for both Materials Performance Magazine and with Coatings Pro Magazine. On this episode of the podcast, Bob Boffman, CEO and co-founder of HUVRdata, is joining us. HUVRdata describes itself as the first purpose-built inspection data management platform, and you can read all about what they're trying to do for the industry at HUVRdata.com. That's HUVRdata.com. First things first, Bob, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, sure thing. I think the technology that you all are putting together is very interesting, that could potentially have relevance to a lot of people in our audience, and we'll get to that over the next 20 minutes or so. But I want to lead off by just allowing you to introduce yourself. What are some of your career highlights, and what's been the road that led you to founding HUVRdata and what you guys are trying to do right now?
Great. Well, first of all, I live in Austin, Texas, but that's not where I was born. I was actually born in South America, so I'm bilingual. I'm a degreed electrical engineer. I've worked in a variety of different technologies and markets. I would not necessarily define myself as a startup junkie, although this is my third. But I've been very fortunate to be at a very successful one that exited. I've also been in a failure, so we raised a bunch of money and couldn't get it off the ground. And this is my third, and I'm firmly believe that the pendulum is swinging the other direction. My passion really is solving complex problems, and so we'll get into that through the discussion today. Because as I looked around 8 years ago, I found and was introduced to some very interesting complex problems in the industrial management and asset management space, and so that's why we started Huvr.
So let's start there at a high level. What's so important about having the right management platform for inspection type data, particularly in these industrial settings that you were just referencing? What are companies really needing or searching for?
So every asset owner in industrial manufacturing, energy, etc., that we have spoken to has essentially told us that they have these problems. One is there are new digital tools that have come into existence in the last 5 to 7 years that drastically improve inspections, safety, and the corresponding data that is acquired from them. So they're using them. The bottom line is they're using them. That created a problem. Number two, every inspection needs a mobile checklist alongside that inspection tool that is being used to do that inspection. And so having a mobile checklist which will integrate with that inspection tool data is very important. Thirdly, everyone uses subcontractors. And so people have their own employees plus subcontractors bringing in inspection data. So that becomes a security issue and a data housing issue, which needs to be solved so that the data is coming into one place, regardless of whether it's an employee or a subcontractor. Fourthly, every asset owner has multiple constituents. And so I'll just summarize three. The executive vice presidents or business owners, they want summaries. They don't care about the details. In other words, how is my plant doing? How is my fleet doing? Okay, so that requires a certain set of reports and, if you will, analytics in order to provide that constituent with the information they need to run the business. In the middle, I'll say, there is an entire cast of very important people who care about the details. They want 100-page reports, every data at their fingertips. And so that requires different reporting and different analytics for them to be satisfied to do their job that they're accountable for. And then lastly, let's not forget about the people who are responsible for keeping things on and producing. And I'm going to grossly simplify, but that constituent only wants to know what's broken so they can fix it. And so if you picture an inspection that has created the data for all three constituents, you need a platform that will, drive different things for different people. And lastly, although yes, we have an IDMS platform, we're not first in the sense of having the first one ever. People have been doing inspections on data systems for 3 decades.
Right.
And so, but what is new is that there's new inspection tools that have brand new inspection data sets, and those are very, very challenging with what I'll call classic or historical systems. So we are the first to enable the integration of these brand new tools into existing data management systems. And so in a short, these problems exist everywhere. And
Mhm.
this is why we founded the company, and what is unique about the HUVR system is that we allow people to provide all of those in one system.
We talked broadly leading off the podcast about its use in industrial settings. Let's try and narrow this down for our corrosion audience here at AMP. What are some of the types of inspection tools that you can integrate this system with, and specifically those types of tools that are useful to people in the corrosion or protective coatings industry?
Sure. So protective coatings are used on different asset classes, pipes, uh, tanks, uh, flare stacks, etc. And so uh, tools that are used to monitor and measure corrosion are things such as ultrasonic testing,
Mhm.
uh, also various kinds of visual devices, such as drones to actually take images of different types of corrosion on different places. Also, thermal cameras that provide thermal signature differentials depending on how corrosion has evolved or how deep or wide it might be. And so these are just a few, and all of those, as I've mentioned, they create different types of data sets. And so this again goes back to the raw problem: is these are the tools that the technicians out there are using to measure corrosion. And so you need to be able to have a system that will absorb those different types of inspection techniques and offer the comprehensive report that these independent tools provide.
So what's distinctive about the platform that you all have built at Hover for this inspection data? Obviously, there's a lot of people that are trying to enter this market. It's a growing need for the reasons you've laid out. What's particularly distinctive about the system that you guys have set up?
So first of all, I'll just start with fundamentals. Um, an asset owner's data security and the security of the data they collect is paramount. And so, number one is we have been fortunate to leverage the evolutions of all cloud-based providers.
Hmm.
And there's a number of big ones, right? Everybody knows of the Google Cloud Platform, Amazon Web Services, Azure. All of those platforms are fantastic, and they all have deep data security built in. And so, number one is we are based on, we happen to be on the Google Cloud Platform, but we're based on a very secure platform that gives the comfort to our customers that their data is secure. So that's foundational, number one. Number two, we have taken pains to ensure a wide range of configurability. Not, we don't know of a single customer who all examine or inspect a type of asset exactly the same way. Everybody has their distinctive competences, different things they care about, and or they want configurability depending on the type of inspection or asset. So we have designed a tremendous amount of configurability so that our customers can, under their control and in literally a matter of hours, completely change and configure different inspections to meet their needs. And so a tremendous amount of configurability. So we don't do custom software. Nothing we do is custom. Everything is configurable. And so it gives our clients a secure platform, and B, the confidence that they're able to configure and manipulate the workflow to meet their needs. And in that configurability is the ability to merge the data sets that are created by these inspection tools that are out there in the market into a system, one system of record, so that they can integrate thermal data, ultrasonic testing data, drone data, underwater inspection data, all these coming from different
Hmm.
tools into one system. And so those are just a few that of the the technology underpinnings that we've created and spent 8 years developing, so that we really have a valuable system and configurable system for our clients to enjoy.
One concrete example that we can give from your website at HUVRdata.com, if you go to your press releases, you'll see all of this about welcoming companies to your partner network ecosystem, is what you call it. One that I think our audience will relate to is Appellix. And the idea is, of course, everybody knows Appellix has these drones in which, as far as corrosion inspections and for use with protective coatings, what Appellix does or is trying to do is use these drones for purposes of ultrasonic testing, taking dry film thickness measurements, and all sorts of other things when it comes to not just inspections, but they want to get into surface prep and application as well. And that's an example of something where your system can be used to basically present that type of data. And so I think that's a good example that our audience will relate to. And just at a higher level, when you go up and down your website, you've got so many announcements for your partners. How important are those to you, and what role do they play, these partners that you're teaming up with, in making sure that your platform is what the industry needs?
So what we try to do at Hover is to really listen to our customers, and our customers are telling us the following simple messages. Inspection tools are being designed, and there's a tremendous amount of venture capital and good solid investment going on in that ecosystem of hardware tools, inspection tools that they want to enjoy and leverage. And so the message that they've given us is, Hover, please be agnostic to tools. So I'm not going to develop a hardware tool ourselves. We're going to partner with that ecosystem. And so number one, they've asked us to please be agnostic, which we are. And number two, in many cases, our customers point us, you've just pointed out one, we're very happy with that relationship, by the way, and several others in our partner network. But what we do is partner with companies like Appellix, where we go in and we sit down with them, and we want to ensure that the value that they've created around their software is also enjoyed by companies who put the data on the Hover platform, but then let's say need to access software algorithms or anything else of value that hardware provider has invested in. And so we want a very collaborative engagement, where number one, let's focus on our customer, the user of the Appellix tool. What do we want? We want them to enjoy a seamless way to bring the data in using the Appellix tool, number one. Number two, make it very seamless for that data to be analyzed by any software that Appellix may have. And number three, for that to be housed in the Hover software so that the corresponding report can be made securely available to the people inside of that customer's enterprise. And so that in a nutshell walks you through what we attempt to do with every partner. We have a very significant investment so far in that, and this is probably one of the one or two areas that Hover will continually invest in and try to differentiate in. Because what we want people to know is that when you partner with Hover, you're going to have access to a myriad of different inspection tools that have nothing to do with Hover, but that allow you to do multiple types of inspections within your enterprise and bring that data into one platform. So that's really the strategy behind our partner network. And obviously, we're in the very early phases of that. Some partnerships are more mature than others, and we continue to invest in this, and we will make this a cornerstone of our strategy moving forward.
At a high level, what type of feedback have you gotten, or I guess with some of these that are in the early stages, what type of feedback are you looking for from the field? Just give us some examples of things that either you've heard or things that you are looking to hear when you partner with these companies that then use your service.
So I'll go back to the three constituents, because I think it's most important for us to understand what's meaningful to them. So let's start with the technicians. The technicians are out in many cases in a very unsafe environment, taking measurements or inspecting things in places that they need to get in and out of, and it needs to be secure. And so what just warms my heart is when technicians who have been trained on the Hover platform come back from the field and they say two things. One, this was so easy to use, number one. And number two, it allowed me to do my job safely rather than fumbling with paperwork, a weird user interface to get the data back into, the system. So from a technician standpoint, what we strive for is for them to come back basically and say one thing: never take this tool away from me, because it lets me do my job that I love to do. So that's the technicians, and that's what we strive for. Middle management, I would say engineering management, QA, etc. What we want them to tell us is that they can go to a secure place very simply to review the data, and at the click of a button, produce a report that it would have otherwise taken 8 hours, 10 hours of multiple people cutting and pasting and putting something together. And that once that data is in the right place, that the report is generated, and they have now published that report for usage to the constituents that have secure and rightful access to it, that report is instantly available in its native form, and people can access it with the click of a button. Okay. Now remember that we're coming from an industry that has been coming from PDF. And so that is not a simple statement that I just made. And it's rather revolutionary, unfortunately, for certain customers, that they're just getting into a point where something like this can be made available, because PDF's been around for a long time. So this middle sphere of people, very important constituent, that they can bring this data in and with a click of a button generate a report that took hours, and then make that widely available so that everyone can see what they need to do their job. That's what we strive for there. And then to the last one, which is the executive management, I'll just summarize this way: is we had a client, vice president, who told me after using our system for about a month that he started his weekly staff meeting with one of the analytics layers we had, because it just summarized. He could bring up the plant in a map format, and all of the different assets were color coded red, yellow, green, and he could just start his Monday morning staff meeting and say, okay, we've got three tanks that look like they've got problems. Johnny, you're the head of tanks. What's the plan this week? And so on and so. And that, when it changes behavior at the executive staff level, and they are driving their business around different views that they could get directly from the Hover system, that's music to my ears. So that's 3 examples of what we're striving for, and the value that we want to bring to people within the organization.
What are the next steps for you guys over the coming months, years? I know you're a relatively new company, you're co-founder, so you're still trying to grow, as you mentioned earlier, your partner network and scale up. What does the timetable look like moving forward for you guys?
So we've been very fortunate. We made it through COVID. As a startup, that was tough. We raised 2 rounds of funding during COVID, which I'm very proud of. That speaks to the value we bring, right? We doubled the size of the company the last 12 months, and we'll be close to that in the next 12 months. So from a sizing perspective, that kind of gives you that landscape. From a value perspective, there's really, I would say, 2 different major investments that you will see. Firstly, we are being asked to bring in wider ranges of what I'll call analytics that allows our customers to mine the data that they acquire from the inspections that they put in place, so that they can do better trending, understand how those trending should affect their budgets, and that they do the proper risk mitigation with regards to asset management. So we will continue to bring analytics along that allow them to bring value in that space. Secondly, risk-based inspections is a facilitation that a lot of companies are beginning to invest in and use, and that is a big area for investment and partnership that we will begin to start rolling things out to our customer base to allow them to begin RBI inspection methodologies within the Hover system, in partnership with other large companies. And so that's the second vector. And then the last one, of course, is the partner network, which is, again, a cornerstone. And what I envision there is I'd love to have 40 or 50 active partners that are not only active in the ecosystem, but provide our customers with a very wide range of inspection tools that enjoy easy upload into the Hover system, helping that inspection partner sell more of their inspection tools and helping our customers enjoy the data in one place. So that's a little bit about what you can expect over the next 18 months. From a resource perspective, we're in a very healthy space. We raised our Series A about 18 months ago. We're on plan to all the growth methods there, or growth KPIs there. And we are targeting a Series B next year to again bring more investment and more growth in these areas of investment that I just laid out.
We're winding down now with Bob Boffman, CEO and co-founder of HUVRdata. Is there anything we haven't covered in the last 20 minutes or so that's potentially of relevance to our corrosion audience? Any extra benefits or considerations that people in our space should maybe be taking into account that your system can perhaps, if not rectify, at least improve?
Well, I think the one place maybe we haven't touched is not only compliance, but regulatory aspects of our industry that continually evolve. Some say are becoming more stringent, and it's an area that we're attempting to bring facilitation and standards around. So we're partnering very closely with industry experts that are very tied. They're closely tied to API and API standards, and therefore the regulatory bodies that look at that and require those standards to be met. And so one of the things that you'll see this year is our hover tank solutions methodologies that allow you to really essentially meet all of the API stringent requirements by having ready-made inspection tools and inspection workflows that you can deploy, and also make sure that you stay in front of compliance, new compliance methodologies, SB 900 and such that are beginning to come out, and you want to be ahead of that. So we're spending a lot of time making sure that we invest in allowing our customers to stay in front of those ever evolving standards, and we think we can bring a lot of value by bringing the workflows that are required to meet those compliance methodologies to our customers.
For anybody that wants more information from you or the company, what's the best way they can get that? Basically, feel free to toss out your email, your website, any resource for additional information for our listeners.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Ben. So first and foremost, please visit our website, HUVRdata.com, HUVRdata.com. You can request a demo there, and our sales team will immediately get to you. But I'm here to you as well. And so my email is bob.boffman, spelled BAUGHMAN, at HUVRdata.com. Shoot me an email, and I'll make sure that one of our bright salespeople is in touch with you, and you get your demo and answer any questions you have.
Perfect. Folks, this is where we will wrap things today. We'll put a bow on it right here. For Bob Boffman, I'm Ben Dubose. He mentioned where you can get more information from HUVRdata. Again, HUVRdata.com, HUVR. For us at AMP, of course, you can go to amp.org, ampp.org. That's the website for the association. And then our publications, materialsperformance.com and coatingspromag.com. That's where you can get the latest day-to-day news, projects, case studies, technology reviews, whatever you need in the corrosion industry or protective coatings. We've got it at materialsperformance.com and coatingspromag.com. Lots of good articles and features. Just check out our archives. And that's where we'll be posting this episode very soon as well. Or, well, it's probably already on there by the time you're listening. So anyway, for Bob, I'm Ben. Thanks as always for listening. And please come back soon for another new AMP podcast.